All right. Ladies, gentlemen, boys, girls, fishing accomplices, good morning. Welcome back to fishing. So we're getting to the last third of July right now, and we are about to go on the water, though we're already on the water, is what I'm talking about, and hopefully get into some good fluke action. We're on the South Shore, New York City waters, spots that I've checked out this season. I almost went to a completely different area, but the weather, as you can tell, is a little bit unsettled, and I didn't want to stray too far from home only to potentially have it not work out. So I figured it's a little bit lower risk. So that is why we're here. We're also here because there's definitely fluke around, so we're going to try and make that happen. As I'm looking at it right now, water clarity is not spectacular, so that's not the greatest thing to see, but water temps have dropped a bit, about 72 degrees. So we got incoming tide right now. We're going to hit up some spots that I think could be holding some decent fish, and hopefully that'll be the start of some good action for you. So please stay tuned, because it's time to get some fishing accomplished. Okay, so this tide is just ripping in right now, so I'm going to start off with a bit of a heavier jig head. I'm going to go 1 ounce, and we're going to pair it with a 5-inch gulp paddle shad in the white color. As this tide lets up, we'll start downsizing, but I think 1 ounce is the sweet spot for what we're going to do right now, and we'll see what we can do. Okay, tide ripping in. Let's see if we can rip into some fluke right now. This is like incredibly strong tide. Might be even too much for now, but we'll see what we can do. Got bottom with 1 ounce, that's good. We are cruising right now. There we go. That's a fluke, no. I think we got a sea robin. Big bird. I would have kept you yesterday when I was fishing the sound, but we're not resorting to keeping these things yet. It's a big sea robin. All right, big sea robin to start things off. No surprise. Hopefully we get some big sea robins, but more importantly, some big fluke. If we don't get into fluke and we're just getting sea robins like that, then we'll start keeping them. I need to stock up on some fish after a long time of not doing that this summer. That's a fluke. And there he goes. Go again. Fish I find these fish come off a lot easier when the current's ripping like this. There's a lot pulling on them. It's okay if fish like this comes off, but don't want to lose a doormat. And there could and should be some doormats around, or at the very least some nice shower mats, as I like to say. Also a fluke, I think. Yeah, it's a fluke. Not quite legal, but we're getting there. You know what, screw it, we're gonna start keeping some of these things because they're good eating, and we can actually get some nice fillets off this size sea robin. No worse than porgies in my opinion. It's a fluke, not a bad one. I don't think that's legal, but getting closer to legal size. It's probably neighborhood of 18 inches. Let's measure. I don't think he's, I know it's not 19. Board's already wet. It's a 2023 keeper. 18 and a half. This might be a little better. All right, we worked a slightly shallower set of contours that last drift and got significantly more action. So we're going to try that again. It's definitely more bait that I'm noticing in that area as well. So see if this is where a lot of the fish are holding. Certainly a lot of smaller fish. And if that is the case, we're not going to work this too hard, but I'm hoping there's some better sized ones mixed in with these little fish. Here's my fluke. Bit better than that. Little. Threw this up, whatever it is. All right, got a good probably 2 hours of incoming tide left, and while we're certainly getting action, I don't know if I'm going to stick this out too much longer in this spot, because a lot of these fish are trending small and quite a few of them are like, you know, interference fish. So it's part of me that wants to mix it up and try somewhere else. So we're going to finish this drift up and weigh our options. I feel fucking weird. It's fouled. Yep. All right, so we're about an hour and a half into fishing right now, and caught a lot of fish, but just nothing terribly big. And honestly, I could hang around that area all day and probably have a good time, but I'm not sure I'm gonna find the keeper or keepers that I'm looking for. So we're gonna make a move. Maybe a mistake, I don't know. I know the old saying, don't leave fish to find fish, but we're not necessarily finding the fish that we're looking for. So I think it'd be foolish to put all of our eggs in that basket when there are potentially better options. So we're gonna move somewhere where We can fish both deeper and shallow if we decide, and should still have some good moving tide as we make it over. So let's try and make this happen in a good way. See you in a few. Definitely starting to lose the tide. We've got about an hour before I think things change over, so doesn't mean we can't catch fish, just might be a little bit more work. Still got a bit of a drift though. It's just like impossible amounts of sea robins. That's a fluke. That's a good fluke, I believe. Yeah, it's a fluke. That's a big fluke. This is the fluke we've been looking for. We just dropped right on him. Yes, sir. We will take you if we can get you. Yep, and he just spit it. That's what we like to see. So not even mess around, just get right on the stringer. Probably like a 21, 22 incher. Yeah, just a little shy of 22. That's 22. He's like 21 and a half. Nice meaty fish. Okay, well, we finally got a keeper, and that was no easy task to find that fish. Not because we can't find fluke, it's just these sea robins are so thick. I've been bouncing from anywhere to 15 to like 45 feet of water, and just wall-to-wall sea robins. But I'm hoping we found the right position. That fish was like right at the bottom of a ledge just before it kind of flattened out into the main channel. But let's see if we can mimic that, and I think now is a better time than ever to toast with our seltzer of the day. It's time. This is a brand new one, haven't tried it yet. It's called Bubbler. Antioxidant. I'm skeptical. This is Tropical Dreamer. It's a mix of pineapple, mango, apple, and lime, so a medley. Wow. That is a lot of flavor. It's pretty flavorful. Like, it's got a little extra sweetener. It's only 5 calories and looks like 7 grams of carbohydrates, so it's not crazy sweet. This is kind of like right around the level that I like. Some taste, but not too much. I think this is pretty good for a brand I never tried. Like, I just picked up a box of these at Target. I would support this. So this isn't blowing me away, but they did have other flavors that I'm definitely going to check out in the future. I give this an 8.75. Definitely check it out if you're looking for something new. And hopefully we get on some new fluke to put in the cooler, see what we can do. Okay, we found one keeper. That fish was in about 37 feet of water. Let's see if we can find a few more without finding 1,000 sea robins. I'll keep a few more big ones, big sea robins, but I'm not into just non-stop sea robin action. I'm sure you aren't either. I don't think this is sea robin, but it might be. Oh, these are definitely sea robins. That's a fluke. Not a bad fluke. Might be another keeper. It's not as big as the last one. That much is for sure. So those last couple fluke I got just at the final phases of incoming tide, as I was losing the drift. Basically what I tried to do was kind of hit that same point to see if I can find more fluke like this. However, unfortunately, while I do think there were fluke around, maybe not stacked fluke, unfortunately the sea robins were stacked, and it was very difficult to get through them to find fluke. I mean, it's the kind of thing where you're catching one and you'll see two others follow it back, and then you'll drop it back down, you'll get another one. As soon as this would happen, I'd move to another spot, drop it down, and have the same thing happen. So I just kept moving around to see if I can get on better fluke. Unfortunately, however, I encountered another issue as this continued. I am going to move pretty soon, even though I'm confident there's more fluke here, just because once that tide starts ripping out, I don't want to get stuck here and do a lot of extra work. Will be soon. All right, right now I'm just trying to make my way closer to a point where I'll have a better trajectory to beeline it back to launch when that point comes, but I think right now is a good point to stop. I'm a bit nervous because I'm definitely seeing stuff like this, which I'm seeing it all over, and there's only one thing I'm thinking when I see this, and that's cow nose rays. They're everywhere, and I really, really, really don't want to catch any today. It takes like 10 minutes to get one off the line without snapping off, and I'm already on. This is... See? Well, called that one. I really don't want to deal with this. Thing couldn't even get to the bottom. I thought I was off the school, but apparently not. Try and scare him away from these boats. For the record, I do not want to catch this thing, so I apologize to anyone that sees this as cruel. Trust me, I have no desire to have this thing on the end of my line. I'm trying to do this quickly. There we go. Oh no. Damn it. Almost had it. Once I got one of these and it dove under the boat and snapped the tip of my rod off, and I'd really like that not to happen today. Like that. Damn it. Didn't want to lose that jig. Well, I guess I called that one, or perhaps I even manifested it. I don't know, but it's a bummer we lost the jig, but I guess at least we got our gulp back, and we are fishing that piece, so hopefully it's meant for bigger and better things. Well, maybe not bigger things, but hopefully better. All right, let's try this again. I don't see any schools of rays in the screen right now, so let's see what we can do. So after that whole ordeal, I decided to work this area pretty thoroughly, and we did start to get some outgoing tide, which was moving, but unfortunately we're getting pretty much the same results, which were endless amounts of sea robins, just one after another, after another, after another. And as it continued, I decided to even try switching presentations, dropping some stuff that wasn't gulp to see if maybe these fish, I get more fluke and less sea robins. But unfortunately, that wasn't even the case. Just basically, these sea robins made it almost impossible to get any kind of productive fluke fishing done in this whole area. So I ended up beelining it to a different spot closer to launch and finished up there. Ooh, that's a fluke. It's a good fluke. Feels like a keeper. Yeah, it's a keeper. That is certainly a keeper fluke, unless he's hooked funny. Yep. close. It's not a big one necessarily, but that should make 19. I think this should make it. Oh, you're so close. It's like just touching 19. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to call this a keeper, but we're going to throw him back. All right, 19-inch fluke. It's a good sign. Not nearly as many sea robins, though I shouldn't even say that out loud, because I feel like I'm getting bit by one right now. But let's hope we can pull another little more comfortably keeper-sized fluke. Ooh. It's a fluke. It's not huge, but it's not bad. Could be a keeper. Good karma for letting that other one go, perhaps. Yeah, that's a nice one. Oh, it's about 18 3/4. All right, almost certainly last drift. Want to get out of here pretty soon. Jeez. Instant fluke. Well, maybe not so easy to get out of here. It's not a bad fluke. Not big. It's not big enough, but a fluke. Well, that's gonna have to do it for this one. Yeah, it's definitely still fluke around. Maybe not quite as hot a bite as it was about a month ago, but there's still some quality fish to be caught. The only real challenge, of course, is now you're starting to see other stuff move in that are, you know, competing with the fluke for your lure, like those sea robins. I mean, when they get like they were today, when they're swarming like that, it's almost, I want to say almost not worth it to fish for fluke around them. I only say almost because the one legitimate keeper we got was within one of those swarms, so I guess it's really a toss-up. If it's a spot you're really confident in, you can try and push through, but it is not going to be easy to get through to those fluke. But yeah, water temps are still reasonable, low 70s, though we are close to the ocean. I think once the porgies really start to move into this area, I know they're moving in, but I mean really moving in, it's going to be very difficult to catch fluke like I'm fishing right now. At least that's how it's been the past couple seasons, but I hope we have a few more good ones left. I'm going to try and fish some very different spots in the next couple sessions as we get moving, weather permitting. But otherwise, that's going to do it. So thank you for watching as always. Thank you for those of you that subscribed. I'll catch you in the next one. Goodbye from fishing.